Ladies and gentlemen, you know what this is. This is The Spoken. Unfortunately, we don't have our normal crew. Terry is in the background doing the filming right now. Derek is busy with other work. We wanted to give you a little update real quick. As you know, this is Lance Twidwell. I'm your guys' host. I'm the co-founder of the show, The Spoken. Obviously, you guys know what today is. Today is the first official day of the NFL season. Preseason's done. We can all breathe now. We can all say, hey, we finally have our football back. Fantasy football teams are hopefully all done, and if you haven't done it yet, you better get that squared away immediately because the game's less than 8-9 hours away. So anyway, we got the Giants and the Cowboys today out in New York. Obviously, this is one of the biggest rivalries in football. The NFC East is always publicized. Everybody knows about what goes on with each team, even if you don't care about any of the teams in particular. Tonight, a lot of people are picking the Giants, obviously, because they're the Super Bowl champions. They're a favorite at home. Most teams win at home at Game 1. They're obviously still a very good team, even without Mario Manningham. Brandon Jacobs is gone. They really don't have what you would consider a consistent linebacker. But they have some key positions that really look good. You have your defensive line. You got your quarterback, obviously, in Eli Manning. You have a very strong running back in Ahmad Bradshaw. A good offensive line. Good receiver still with Akeem Nicks and Victor Cruz. So you're looking at a very positive team. But I think, guys, I'm going to go against the grain. I think tonight the Cowboys are going to sneak one out. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think Tony Romo is going to lead this team to a victory tonight, and I think they're also going to win the division at 11-5. I'm going to be a little bold about that. I know usually the Cowboys don't live up to the hype, but this is a kind of team where they've kind of gone under the radar a little bit. They're not the favorites usually out of the NFC East this season or last season. So I think that this year they're going to come around. Not a lot of pressure on them as much as there usually is. Des Bryant's going to have a better year. I don't know if it's going to be a breakout year or not, but I think they're going to sneak it out with Brandon Carr and those new defensive backs. I think they're going to be a stronger defense, and I just look to see that be a better team this year, 11-5. But I know a lot of people are wanting to know about the Chiefs, and we've obviously been talking about that all offseason, all throughout training camp, and all throughout preseason. And a lot of people are started out very optimistic during training camp. We talked to a lot of people, and then in the preseason it kind of flipped a little bit. A lot of people were concerned with the injuries, and now with the suspension of Tamba Hali, which we will be facing in Week 1. Very unfortunate circumstances. I think there is some bright sides to this, though. I think that we're going to see how much depth this team really does have, particularly at the pass rush. Tamba Hali is not going to be there, so that obviously makes things a lot more difficult. But with Studebaker having to take his spot, we're going to have to see a lot more from Justin Houston and the other linebackers as well. With Brandon Flowers and Derek Johnson being nicked up, it's obviously going to take away. But them being on the field, I think, is going to add presence to the game. And I would much rather personally have an injured Brandon Flowers out there than a Jaleel Brown that's 100% just from what I've seen so far in the preseason. And I believe that looking at the whole team now with the 53 and what we have, available, there were some guys I didn't think that were going to make the team that did make the team. There's some guys that I thought that were going to make the team that didn't, and I think that's just how it goes. I think that we all, predict that there's going to be a player here and there. But I do like some of the decisions that Pioli has made with keeping Eachus, keeping a 5 running back crew. I think that adds a lot of depth at probably the most important position besides quarterback on this offense. We are deep at wide receiver. I do like the fact that John Baldwin and Dwayne Bowe have been announced as starters. I think we all kind of knew that. But the thought of both those guys on being on each side of the field obviously opens up a lot for the running game. And for Matt Castle, it takes a lot more pressure off of him. But I will say that with Tom Hawley, with the injuries, and with the team they have now and the structure that I see on this team, yes, it is more of a defensive-minded team. It is, Romeo Crennel is that kind of coach. But Brian Dable, I think, has just as much of effect on this team as Romeo Crennel does because of the fact that we're looking to see more from our offense than I think even from our defense this year, because we know this defense, for the most part, is very solid. We know this defense can carry its own for the most part. But we've got to see more from this offense. I mean, this was one of the worst offenses in football last year. I think we scored the least amount of points in football last season. Granted, I know Matt Castle was out. I know for a while. I know Palco, who's the worst quarterback I've ever seen in football history, played for 4 weeks for this team. Granted all that, but we got to still see more from Matt Castle. I think that we've seen him play good in the preseason against teams that really don't have strong defenses. We don't see a lot from them because they don't want to give too much up playing base defenses. I got to see him play well against good defenses. I got to see him play well in the postseason. I don't think I'm asking too much for that. I have been critical on him. I have seen things that, I have said things that are pretty harsh, but I don't take any of it back because it's exactly how I felt, and it's exactly how I feel to this day. I want to see more of Matt Castle. I want to see him get better at third down conversions. I want to see him extend plays, and we've seen that so far from the preseason. We got to see it during the season. We got a good, decent schedule this year. It's not going to be an easy one by any means. But my predictions this year, what I want to see, I should say, the prediction I see is I think that the Chiefs are going to be the AFC West champions. I think that Matt Castle is going to do enough. Hopefully, I'm going to hold my opinion out initially, but I think he's going to do enough to not screw things up, and I think he's going to facilitate. I think the defense is going to carry this team. We're going to get healthier, especially with Eric Berry back. And with Jamal Charles and Peyton Hillis, that's going to be the anchor of this offense, and I really look for that to be a big thing. I don't know if Baldwin's going to become a superstar during this season, but I think he's going to be much better than what he was. I mean, he missed the first 6-7 weeks of last season alone, so we're going to see him become a better contributor to the offense. Dexter McCluster, I mean, you guys have seen how he's been utilized. Kevin Boss, he looks like he's going to be the best tight end on this team. Moiaki's going to ease his way back in. When he's healthy, I mean, he is one of the scarier young tight ends in football. I want to see the offensive line do their job. I mean, obviously with Eric Winston, that makes things so much better than what we had at Barry Richardson. And all of that, guys, I want to see a good season out of the team. I want to see, obviously, a win in the postseason. That's what we're all praying for. I think it can happen this year. I really do. I think that the AFC isn't as strong as it usually is, but I think that the team can take advantage of that, and I think they'll win the AFC West and get a home game, guys. And we need to believe. So I believe, and I think the rest of my team believes on the spoken, and I know you guys all will too. So in that, I just hope that you guys have a great day. I hope to hear from you guys all soon. Follow us on Twitter, and we'll hopefully talk to you guys soon. You guys have a great day.